Ready, hunt!
You were talking about Dennis Reynolds earlier, and it seems like a lot of players improve at sort of a steady rate, and some guys, it's dramatic. Are we watching something dramatic happening? You know,
I don't know about that.
ago,
You know, I've been talking about him since the spring, so we've seen this. Even a year ago, later in the year, he had some good games and made more plays and was getting to be more and more consistent. Like I said, I saw it through spring. I saw it through summer, so I can really say that I'm not really surprised. I felt that he was making those strides that young people do make. They become more confident, more sure of themselves. Their expectations increase, and they start making more plays.
Bob, the Big 12 has sort of been overlooked because I think after the non-conference, the results were so good, it was deemed the best conference, yet the SEC hogs the national spotlight, and their big game is this weekend. What are your thoughts about Big 12's position in all of this and a possible rematch for the...
I don't have any in regard to lobbying who's best, who isn't. That's for, heck, that's what people do. Sit around tables and talk about it. I could care less. At the end of the day, it's we have to play, they have to play, and I think it's fair to say when you look at our conference top to bottom, we've more than, played well when you look at our record out of conference and, and the quality of teams and the way teams are playing. So it is what it is, and you can't deny that.
Bob, was it good to get the tight ends involved in that game the way that they were?
Sure. It was good to get all the people we got involved. Not just them, right? I mean, it goes on and on, all the different guys that had opportunities and made the most of them.
What does it mean to this team to have two veteran senior tight ends?
Again, one more, another space to cover, another, quality player to cover, those kind of things. And as I believe, though, those guys are good players. So, hopefully, we'll continue to play that way where we're getting everybody opportunities.
Did you do anything differently in the second half defensively? I know the first quarter you shut them down. Second quarter they had success.
Yeah, and they're going to. I mean, I think that's where, again, I'm not saying you are, but sometimes people are a little unrealistic that it's going to be perfect. They've been, scoring on everybody. They were undefeated, right? I mean, they're going to make their plays. And there was a time or two, our assignments weren't quite as sharp as they need to be. They're going to capitalize on it. They're that good. He's that good a quarterback, big guy, can run. And so they took advantage of some spots where we weren't quite as good as we needed to be. And I thought a couple of times we could have limited them a little more, and we missed some tackles, didn't tackle very well, and it magnified it. Second half, that didn't happen. We were a lot more assignment correct. We tackled better. And then at a certain point late in the third quarter, the score got into a situation where now they couldn't manage it. They couldn't play their normal, use the clock up, run the football, and that changed things as well.
Bob, Bill Young brought up a good point yesterday that in this league, because of up-tempo, there's so many more snaps that a defense has to, sometimes the numbers, the statistics get a little bit jaundiced. Can you
Very fair to say. I mean, I realized that when we went to the no huddle. Here I am, my background as a defensive coach, I knew immediately, well, if we go to this style of offense, the defensive numbers aren't going to be nearly as good. They're on the field more, there's more snaps, the time of possessions, the more opportunities they have, the more opportunities for yards, for points, for this, that, and the other. And so, but again, I guess my rationale for doing it, and that was back in 2008, was if we snap it more than them with Sam Bradford and that crew, that I felt it would still be an advantage, even if our defensive numbers didn't look as good as they normally did. And so.
With all that in mind, are there any stats that you pay attention to particularly? And I guess I'm wondering about maybe, points per yard, some sort of, how much real estate you get and how efficient you are.
Our points compared to their points is the one I
That's it.
really pay attention to. That's right.
You mentioned the game Landry had. Is there anything he does that surprises you anymore? He comes out against a good defense and sets a school record for passing yards.
Not really, but he's doing a great job. I mean, the guy's just got a talented arm, and it's like the other night. It was precise, and the guys around him were supporting him and playing well. The offensive line, you throw it 50 times and we didn't have a sack. They did a great job protecting them and giving them opportunities to step up in the pocket and to get somebody, maybe his second or third read. Those are, that's part of those guys supporting him.
But when your opening statement, I think you mentioned, as far as people who played good, I think you mentioned 25 players. Was there anything about this game that was not at a pretty high level?
Did you count them?
Yeah, I counted them.
Jeez, I didn't realize that.
I'm going on that.
No, it was, it was really a complete game, and so, hopefully we can build off of it.
Bob, what are the positives of Sam Proctor in terms of the attitude he brings to the locker room?
Yeah, Sam's been a great, leader in his own way. I mean that. He's been a really strong leader in that he's always positive, he's always working, he's always helpful to other guys, and what he sees, what they're doing, pays great attention and works hard in practice. And anytime he's had opportunities, he's come in and done well. He was one of our special teams players at the game as well on Saturday.
What are your thoughts on the latest NCAA reforms, if you want to call it a stipend or additional money for the scholarships? And
Yeah, I was on record, obviously, in the whole ESPN segment that we had earlier in this summer, in regard to the price of attendance, or giving the players money for the price of attendance, not just what school entails. And so I think it's good. It's positive. It gives them a little more dollars in their pocket to manage, whether it be their rent, their travel home, those kind of things. So anything that we can do to enhance, I believe, the student-athlete's experience, we should try and do. That within the realm of keeping the rules and the regulations the way they are.
Anything to keep them painting houses, right?
What's that?
Anything to keep them from painting houses.
Well, painting houses every now and then for an extra $1 or $2 is a pretty good deal in the summer. It worked well for me.
Bob, can you talk about Dominique? I know you mentioned if you can just go into your decision and how all that played out about the scholarship. And right now, does he, in terms of eating food, he can't move around very well. Do you know how he's actually going around eating, and does he eat in the dorm any?
Well, Gene, I haven't spent the whole day with him, but I imagine
Well,
he finds his way to the refrigerator just like you do, maybe a little tougher, but.
Well, he was working.
Or
at
I'm sure
Subway.
he's got a good girlfriend or somebody that's going to help him, so.
Well, he's talked about struggling with it because he worked at Subway, and just moving around, it just seems.
Well, I never seen Dom malnutrition, so he's a pretty good-looking guy, so, and strong and fast and everything else. Now, I've already been through our policy, right? So, but we had already, come to the decision that at mid-year, we were already planning on putting Dom, on scholarship, and that was our plan. So it's like he was part of this recruiting class. And so the plans had already been made, and I made sure when I walked in the locker room after putting my arm around Dom, letting him know how much I appreciate him. Any guy that gets hurt fighting for you, that, listen, I wanted you to know we've already made that decision, and this isn't going to change it, so he's already earned that in our eyes.
With this type of injury, could he be back in the spring, or is it next fall?
Oh, I don't believe it'll be spring. It'll be in the fall. I mean, he'll be working on it, and I'm sure he'll be progressing through it, but I don't see him being on the field in the spring. I wouldn't think. All right.